Hello, welcome to Goblins of Discord. I am Larissa. If you want to get typed by me, a full typing over Zoom or submit a video, you can book below. I also have a new Inferno typing service, and it will be going up in price shortly. Right now it's cheap if you want to just get roasted while I type you. Like it's a recording. Don't worry, I can't roast you in person. I'm too nice. Anyways, I'm typing Lindsay Lohan. Welcome back, Lindsay Lohan. Great to see you. I am so glad to see that she's thriving and healthy. And I honestly think that speaks to her having seven and probably 7'9", because I really think there's some kind of 7'9" Peter Pan, like a cat, like nine lives cat kind of thing with the 7'9" stem. Um, Stem is an EU word. Um, so yeah, but I think she's actually a three, which is kind of interesting because as an image type, she's obviously had like a crazy image in the public, but I think it's because I don't know. I was sort of like marinating on some thoughts about this, and I think it's because a lot of the kids, the threes specifically, that kind of grow up in the public eye, they kind of have like a warped sense of self to begin with because they're surrounded by adults who are using them basically to get money and fame and clout and contacts and maybe even like trafficking them out and like letting them be abused and all this other shit. And then they're being like praised for sort of everything that they do, unless they have, I don't know, like a 6'1" for a parent or something, who's like spanking them relentlessly. But I don't know. I could just see her being like a child star is maybe why she's sort of downward spiraled. I'm sure she's suffered like all kinds of untold traumas being a child star, and her parents are obviously like totally fucking fucked up and probably abusive. I don't know. I haven't like thought about Lindsay Lohan in a long time, but I did used to pay attention to the tabloids via all of those like stupid celebrity gossip sites. So but you know what? Party girl's gonna party, and I don't know why people even judged any of these. It's like, what would you do if you were in your early 20s, rich and famous? Of course, you'd be out there doing drugs and fucking people and getting crazy and like accidentally showing your pussy and stuff. It's like of course, that's what most people would do because that's fun and you're young, you got money. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, I think that Lindsay Lohan's probably a three wing 279, and it's funny because she hung out with Paris Hilton, who is probably also I think a 379, and Britney Spears, who's probably like a 937. So there was sort of this like girl gang of baby grifters, and it's kind of perfect socialite, famous for just being famous, kind of combination with that type. Anyways, I'm just kind of yammering. So she was in Mean Girls, The Parent Trap. I don't really know what Lindsay Lohan's in. Like she was obviously in stuff, but I feel like she's more famous for being Lindsay Lohan. And she did have a reality show, which I pulled a clip from, which was pretty funny. But anyways, I'll start looking at her type now. She's on the Demon Oprah, the Demonic Oprah's show.
So then in July 2010, 2 weeks in jail, and then rehab in August at UCLA Medical.
Oh, yeah, she went to jail. um, Also a trend with I've noticed with 3-7, 7-3. I'm surprised I've never ended up in jail, to be honest. One of my exes said if I was a man, I'd end up in jail, but maybe it's my forfix that saved me.
Center, and then in September, Betty Ford. What was it like in July 2010 hearing that you were going to go to jail?
Terrifying.
On July 6, 2010, Lindsay appeared in court for violating probation after missing alcohol counseling sessions. She claimed she had permission to skip the classes because of her work schedule.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. Any type can lie, any type whatever. But threes specifically three wing two, like can use the whole victim thing. Like they kind of lean into the two, especially if they have a nine fix, where it's like, Oh, I didn't know. Because they have super ego wing, right? So there's still the good girl thing, wanting to be liked, wanting to be good, even if they don't have a six fix, or like a one fix. Not that one fixes really have that, but I think she's nine wing one fix. But I think that she still has this like, I had permission, like I was being good, I swear. Meanwhile, she's out doing like rails or whatever she was doing. So this is where I see Image, even though she clearly had like an image of being this like crazy party girl to the, through the Inquirer or Us Weekly or Delisted or Press Hilton or whatever. Um, but to herself, she's maintaining this image to herself of like, no, I work really hard. Like I just work all the time, which is a competency type thing as well. And it wasn't my fault. Like I didn't know. And like three wing twos can be kind of like really manipulative. Obviously the three vice is like deception. So whatever.
I did do everything that I was told to do and did the best I could to,
this is probably a raging lie.
balance jobs and showing up.
And threes are real actresses too. I mean, look, I feel bad for Lindsay because I think she did have, a fucked up childhood, and that definitely affects you. And your brain isn't even fully developed until you're like 25 or something. So whatever. But the three thing is, deception. And I think with wing two and with the nine fix, there's going to be a little bit of self victimization where it's like, I did it, and like I worked, and like she's using work as like a shield kind of for her behavior. So I kind of think she might be SPSO, self-pro-social instincts. I don't have like a solid argument yet for that, but I don't really get sexual off her.
I'm sorry. It's just been such a long haul, and I don't want you to think that I don't respect you and your terms, because I really did think that I was doing what I was supposed to do, and I mean that with all my heart.
Yeah, and this is what threes do when they've been cornered. They will play like the teary heart type thing, when they like can't escape the heart center, like do the escaping shame thing, and then they're faced with like the shame of what they've done or whatever it is, like their deceptions catch up with them, and then they will kind of turn on their wing or their fixes and try to like create this image in order to get what they want. So that is getting not going to jail, like for example, or not being seen as like, some kind of reprobate.
The judge sentenced her to 90 days in jail.
Do you understand and accept the terms and conditions of your probation?
Yes.
Due to jail overcrowding, she served just 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm
Did you
sure it was
think that-
overcrowding. I was kind of mean. Sometimes it's mean to just put like dumb celebrities in jail because it's like their experience is going to be freaky.
You would go, or did you think it would be yet another assignment to some rehab?
I had been court ordered to a certain amount of driving classes that I had to complete. And I moved the ones that I was doing because it was a far drive.
See,
there was
like,
something
when she's younger, like she obviously has all these photos of her being kind of messy and stuff, but she is like overall like kind of polished, and she does keep a kind of mainstream, like fairy princess facade. Like she sort of fits that. Was she one of the Disney kids? I don't remember, but she does have that Disney girl thing going on that three wing twos do. Even if her behavior is not that, but that's the image she's trying to project, right?
with that. And then I went away to India. I did a documentary on trafficking of children. And so I was starting to.
There you're getting some more super ego. So I think her shadow is like 261, which is triple super ego. So she's gonna be like like a pixie grifter with an angelic side, or like especially with threes, they often like want you to think they're like a good citizen, or they're using their especially if they have like a nine wing one fix or something, because it's like, I'm a good person, I'm doing good, but it's the image, right? So maybe she did care about kids. I don't know. Maybe because she could relate to it on some level, but But a lot of these celebrities do just do this shit for image reasons, and it's like not sincere, in my opinion, anyways.
To find myself in a really good place. And then when I got back from India, it hit me that I still had to go to court and all of it.
Yeah, there might have been some unconscious, like if I do this good thing, maybe I'll get out of jail. Kind of, I don't have to do I don't have to be punished. Perhaps I don't know.
This was still going on, and my mom's brother, one of my uncles, had passed away. So I was just everything was just hitting me at once.
And also, she would be like wing 279 alter ego, making her triple positive wing. So she's probably does like, and seven fix, like she's going to do a lot of like positive reframing, which is it's like that positive self-rationalization strategy that sevens do in the head center of like until cold hard reality crushes down on you and then you realize like you're totally fucked.
And the discussion was, I was sitting with Sean and we were talking about, are we going to fight this? Are we going to take it to trial? Or are we going to? And part of my decision was, at that point, I strangely, being in my addiction and everything and having all the chaos around me that I was so comfortable with, I somewhere inside knew and kind of wanted to go to jail.
Yeah, and so this is like interesting because if I think about like Winona Ryder, who isn't the same type as Lindsay Lohan at all, but there's different reasons why different types of self-sabotage unconsciously, like kind of what she's talking about, and because they want to push away the things that they feel that they can't control or that they're overwhelmed by, especially when you have nine fix. So her and Winona Ryder have nine fix. But Lindsay with seven, it's like that impulse control can really get you into trouble. Like, as a seven who has hit rock bottom a whole bunch of times, there's almost like you almost want to hit rock bottom because then it's like you run out of road. It's like you kind of have to stop. And like I remember at different times when I was younger and I went out partying all the time, it was like when I was broke and I literally couldn't go out, I finally felt relief. Like I felt I can just stay in my room and draw. And that's when I was actually the happiest. But I think that like seven fixers can have like this, especially because it's assertive. And there's like, the FOMO thing, if there's something exciting going on, am I going to miss out? She probably had, invites to a lot of exciting stuff and probably all kinds of people wanting a piece of her. And if she's a three, which I think she is three wing two, then there's going to be this element of not people pleasing, but wanting people to reflect back to you your self-worth. And so if she felt like she had people around her that were kind of maybe again like she's not maybe consciously aware of it, but they were kind of like using her, and she feels like if she stops being famous, stops being Lindsay Lohan and just disappears to like take care of herself, that she would maybe like lose all of these people, and then that would be like a hit to her shame center, like being a three, like that would undermine her self-worth. And so I think, and three's an attachment type, and she also has nine, I think, in her gut center. So there could be this fear of abandonment if she stops that lifestyle to save herself. But I do think she's self-pres dom regardless. I think self-pres doms can be, even without sexual, I think they can still be very self-destructive. I might change my opinion on her instincts by the end of this, but I'm just sort of soft landing on SPSO. And like I said, I really think like her background is partly why she spun out.
You
In a
subconsciously, yeah, I hear that.
And also nine, because I think there can be that boundary thing, like not being able to say no, even if she's double assertive as well with nine fix, where again, it can be like that people pleasing thing, or like, I don't know how to say no to this. I'm going to create conflict. Like, I think that nines and nine fixers can feel like, yeah, like I don't know how to say no in this situation, especially if it's something that's like important to them, or they feel specifically activated, or like, again, like her self-worth would be tied up in.
And I think that was subconsciously being put out there by me, just by my actions.
Why?
Or lack thereof.
Why? Was it a cry for help?
I think it was
just to find some peace.
Really?
Yeah.
And just have no choice but to just sit and be.
Yeah. I know that sounds like a 9 thing, core 9 kind of thing, like just find some peace or whatever, but I really think it was the 7. I think it's also her being double assertive, where it's like, and I think 3s kind of have the same thing to a different degree of 7, where it's like you almost have to be, it's like 3s have to kind of be forced to stop working or forced to stop that, whatever that specific thing is that they've invested their ego in order to experience their feelings or heal or take some downtime. Because if their self-worth is tied up in what they do and who they are, then it can feel like really terrifying to not do that. And then for 7, it's again, it's like just not having impulse control, like where it's like I don't like I I dated somebody with a 7 fix. This is a long time ago, and I mean, I had other reasons for wanting to leave the city that we both lived in. One of them was I didn't want I knew the girls around me would try to hook up with them. And I wanted to get away from them. But I also found it really, really hard. Like I kept trying to like not party anymore, and people would literally just show up in my apartment with wine or something. Come on, Larissa, and they'd just be like, "Ugh," like I was trying to work on my comic or I was drawing or whatever it was. So we had to leave and go to another city, literally to just not be tempted. Like I think that there really can't be like understated how much like that is part of the 7 structure too. And like I know that like a lot of people with 7 hate it because it's like it's not like necessarily the addict type, but it's like there is like it feels good it feels free. Like you're doing your type when you're out there, when you're like woo, and then it's like through that unchecked freedom that you end up getting in trouble.
And I'll never forget that moment.
How desperate is that going to jail feels like peace?
But also like 7-9 is like the Peter Pan combo too. So it feels painful to have to adult on some level where it's like your flowers wilting, you know?
Yeah. It's
I
terrifying.
also think that's why we look younger than a lot of the other types. Because look at her now. She looks fucking amazing now. I mean, obviously she's had work done, but how does she bounce back? She looks younger than she did like 10 years ago. She looks fucking good now. Like a lot of money can do a lot, but I swear to God, this is partly because she's like got 7 and 9 in her type.
Terrifying. And just seeing, excuse me, my mom and my sister's face in that courtroom and my dad was just heartbreaking. It was horrible.
What were you feeling when you saw it?
I just remember this rush of heat coming over me and just not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, and everybody experiences shame, obviously. It's a human emotion, but I think for shame types, which is 2, 3, and 4, when they actually do, I mean, 2 has pride, so 2 might not experience shame at all. But for 3, and I imagine it would be more, I mean, I can theorize how it will show up for me with the 4 fix, but I'm not going to tell you that. But for 3, I think it's more like you can't hide from what you've done, and like your deceptions catch up with you, and now you have to literally face the consequences. And then of course like it's going to be shame that hits you because that's what you're trying to outrun. Your type is always trying to outrun that thing. So for head types, fear types 5, 6, 7, we're trying to outrun fear. Body types are trying to outrun being controlled or autonomy, boundary issues. Maybe there's something better that makes more sense for that. But yeah, and heart's trying to outrun shame. So then, but eventually the thing, it's like what you resist persists. So the more you don't experience those things, the harder it's going to fucking hit you when you do. It's terrible.
Were you feeling embarrassed? Were you feeling ashamed?
And I will say this too, about, I think there is a thing with 7 and shame as well, because I think I think because sevens can run away from emotions, and one of those emotions can be shame, depending on like if they have kind of like done all this crazy stuff and then they just don't want to like be accountable for it. That, and there might be like shame that they have over that, and then they're outrunning that, and so it'd be worse for like a three with a seven if she like out partying and doing who knows what, right? So
Shame? Were you feeling that you had disappointed them? Were you feeling sorry for them or sorry for yourself?
Them and everyone in my life. The people that work with me that have been with me for years. Definitely lots of shame, tons of guilt. Embarrassment, yeah. I don't think the embarrassment was, as prominent as the shame and the guilt. I think that definitely played.
yeah, and she's kind of talking about three, and I guess I don't know, maybe it would be two. I don't think she's six fixed. I think seven wing six fixed, but I think seven wing six has a thing with guilt too. I have a thing with guilt, and maybe just guilt as a human emotion too, where it's like you do a bunch of fucked up stuff or bad stuff, you upset all these people. But again, like I really side with Lindsay Lohan because I really think that like her parents did a number on her and they were not good parents. So okay, this is like one of the things, and this is also partly why I'm like, this is SPSO. She's kind of a hoarder. But yeah, her show. I can't remember. I think I watched a bit of it, but I don't know if it got canceled or what happened.
To other people, it's just a lot of clothes. But to me, it's actually like, these are things that I've worked hard for, and they actually happen to be really expensive.
Yeah, so here's some SP3 shit right here.
And they're things that I actually appreciate having in my life. So tomorrow,
because they're like, they express her value back to herself. Like, I earned this. You can say that's a six thing too, but it's like with my talent or my hard work, I acquired these objects. These are objects that like reflect back to me my achievements and stuff like that.
Tomorrow at 8 a.m., someone could be here just starting to fold them into piles just so that they're at least organized, like color coordination. Because when I said to you, maybe I need a closet organizer like I've always worked with, and then you said, well, that's me, but that's not that. And when I came back, it was thrown, but you brought the stuff in.
Yeah, I brought it in.
Yeah, and she's kind of doing a competency rant where she's like kind of ripping into this assistant of hers or whatever he is for being incompetent. And and I think like threes are impatient, sevens are impatient. So you have like double assertive. I'm paying you. Why is this not done? I think assertive and competency types can get super more annoyed than like other types over this kind of thing. Because it's like and as PDOM, because it's like you're wasting my time, you're wasting my money, do your job.
But it was all thrown in different closets,
I'll handle it. I'll get it done. If you would like me to get an organizer, do it, or I can be here at 8 a.m. tomorrow and do it myself.
That's like a moment that I didn't want to have to deal with. And then, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like with her type, it's like, three, I'm above this. This is why I pay you. I don't do the plebeian thing, that's kind of like an image thing in general, like 2, 3, and 4. Like twos would never say something like that. But I think there is an underlying message of like separateness for all heart types because they're special heart types, even if they're not 4 or whatever. And obviously it manifests in different forms. I don't know if this makes sense, but I think 3, it's like I'm above this kind of thing. I don't want to deal with it. 7, impatience, like, great, now you're annoying me. You're holding my time hostage. You're holding me hostage. I don't want to think about this. And also maybe some like 9 dissociation of like, like I just don't want to be present with whatever this thing is that's uncomfortable for me to deal with.
Life happens, but it's just something that can be avoided.
As long as I have access to this
Yeah, and avoiding is like 7, 9.
place early in the morning.
Now, you always
that's
will have
fine.
access to this place. I'm going to get
it.
angry for a second. The first day that I got the keys, I asked you to make copies of the keys. All day the other day, were you not coming up and down the elevator? Did you not have keys? Steven said if there were one moment and he needed that, you needed keys. If he knew that, I could have run and gotten keys. Just like right now, I gave you the keys. I said, will you please give these to Matt? Ask him to run and make copies. You then said, Matt said he will do it later. What did I say? This is exactly what I've been dealing with. This is why now I have no keys to the front door to get into my own building because there were no copies made. What did I do? Stephen went, got the keys. We're going to have him back. That easy.
Great.
But that was something that you said you didn't want.
Yeah, and she's doing a thing that anyone can do this, but I think image types particularly do this sort of triangulation thing where they're sort of like highlighting how much better somebody else is at something that they want you to do or be good at or be to make you feel like to evoke shame in you so that you will do what they want. So it's like a kind of a covert and not, I don't think she was doing this on purpose. I think like a lot of our type mechanisms are unseen to ourselves, right? So, but she's kind of doing that three triangulation thing of like almost trying to create a competition or like create shame in this guy over his incompetency.
Want to do that you could have done already 5 days from before.
But I could have done
But
it.
this was Friday, Matt. This was Friday. You said
Yeah, and the problem too is like because she's surrounded by yes people who are she's paying, she kind of gets away with being a monster for a long time, and this is the problem again of like, and I think people with seven, if you become famous, it's like, and then these people end up in fucking jail or ODing or causing or doing escalating crimes that they don't even. I'm not absolving anybody of like responsibility, but it is like I think a real thing of like probably a lot of nine fixers not saying what should be said to these like bratty fame types. Although I think that era is coming to an end. I think AI is going to wipe out a lot of celebritards. Right now, this is a historical moment. Cherish it, children.
you were going to do this, you're not doing it. And then today I have like a breakdown because it's a lot of me for me to deal with when I have a lot of other people saying they're helping me.
This is a little bit of the 3-2 histrionic sort of, it's not my fault. Of course it's not. Like, to bride. Self-martyring also, like, I'm trying my best. I'm doing so much. And, like, you messed this up. I think, like, a three-wing four will be more likely to, well, maybe not likely to own their shit as much, but they have, like, they're not as afraid to, like, feel negative or associate in a negative aspect. But three-wing twos can be real self-victimizers, just like a two can, and especially with a nine fix. Like, you know, they can be like late all the time. They can be sick a lot, or like, you know, like they do emotional things, or it's like, you've made me really upset by not doing what I want. Do you see what you're doing to me? How much you hurt me? Okay.
But it was keys. It takes 10 minutes.
The keys?
At Dwayne Reed. It's still but it was an issue and it affected me. So like, instead of making excuses about it, today when it happens again, and then someone's going to, like, I just simply ask Michael to pass the keys down because my sister's first time in here. Just go get the keys, please.
I'll get the keys. I just need time with you.
Don't make me feel bad about it, and then I have to send Steven to do it, and he's the driver. That's not his job.
Those keys, they were specialty keys which had to be ordered. So I
poor guy. He's probably like a 9-wing 163 or something.
Ordered the keys, but we didn't have them in hand yet. And she thought I just didn't go get the keys made. When she started getting upset, I said, the keys are my fault. I'll take the hit. If I would have had my 5 minutes in the morning, she would have known that the keys were ordered. I can get the keys, Linz. I just need time with you.
But yeah, and that's the other thing again about three. It's like it's very hard for a three to own, even without a 6 fix. I think it's really hard for threes to own responsibility of like something that they've done wrong, or especially with three-wing two, what I've noticed anyways, it's like they're perfect and you're not. So they want other people to take the hot potato from them, which is how I sort of view the three thing, is like they're trying to pass you the shame hot potato because they can't experience the shame. You have to take the hit for the shame.
Okay, well, today wasn't about you needing time. It was about me needing time. And if I were, in all due respect, not to be nasty, but this is a role reversal right now. I feel like I'm working for you, and I have to give you the time that you need. And
that's like absolutely crazy. I feel so bad for this guy, but obviously it was a decade ago. But also I think this is a little bit of 7 bullying too, where she's sort of like taking him to task because he because of him now she has to do something she doesn't feel like doing and like isn't fun for her, kind of isn't enjoyable for her a little bit.
And I should be getting the paycheck, and that's not right.
Oh yeah, and like the whole 3 and 7 thing. I think it's like below my pay grade. Like I'm not here to do this.
True at all.
Well, then I shouldn't feel that way.
You shouldn't.
Right. So then please stop badgering me into sitting to meet with you when I have a lot of other things going on as well.
Yeah, but
and I need.
Like so sure she didn't.
I can't be
Well,
present.
this is also again like another like 3 deflection. Well, again, SP Dom, it's like my time is valuable, kind of thing.
And for you, if I can't be present in my.
I'm busy. I'm working all the time. Okay.
So,
I need to get answers from you
excuse
so
me.
I get stuff done for you.
Right, and you just got a list of things to do.
Yeah, we're still at it.
Right, you don't have to
Right.
be disrespectful.
I'm not.
I know that you have a lot of things going on in your life, and I feel like there's a lot of that's being projected onto me in many other ways.
In what way?
In the ways that you talk to me, first of all.
Once I hardly get to talk to you, that's the issue.
Okay, so sending an email of a list of things that I need done, if that's the way that it needed to happen, and then it didn't happen, that's my fault. So I'm
I
the
didn't
bad
say it was
boss.
your fault. I said the keys were my fault.
Okay, so you can make a list of what you would like for me to do as your boss. Does that make you happy?
Give me 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night.
She basically is just trying to pay him to never have to like do anything she doesn't feel like doing, which is not how the world works. Anyways, I'm sure she's learned that by now. She's making her comeback, which I'm excited about.
Pleasure to be here.
And I've already like typed her, I guess, but I kind of just want to watch a little bit more.
Here.
And welcome back to.
So yeah, this is a new one. She's on her Phoenix Rising from the Ashes classic 3 arc. And I mean, the thing is, Lindsay Lohan didn't do anything that bad. You know what I mean? Like if she was a 7 core, she probably would have done something really crazy, but you never know. Well, no, that's not true. 3s do crazy stuff too. I'm backwalking that. But yeah, I mean, she's leveraging this like a good 3. Yeah, for her sort of arc to stardom once more. And then she'll probably write a book. Maybe she already has, but how I overcame addiction and like the toxic Hollywood, blah, blah, blah.
And this is New York. This is where you're from. You're from New York. Come on, this is home. What are your go-tos? What are your go-tos in New York if you come to the city?
Ooh, I have to order us a bagel.
Love it.
Yeah, and you can see now, like she's got herself kind of together. And you know, this can be like the PR factory of Hollywood anyways, but I think this is like where you can really see now that she's like a little bit older and she's not on stuff. Well, I assume maybe she is, but that you can kind of see the 3-ish stuff more.
That's a bagel. What's your bagel order?
Oh, it depends on what I'm feeling.
I'm
Maybe
everything
like,
bagel, veggie cream cheese.
okay, I'm everything bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese sometimes, or tuna bagel.
Like, why are they talking about bagels? But again, she's kind of doing a 3-wing 2 charmer, but this feels like an SPSO Bond fest. Like, let's relate on like food, New York food. It's a safe topic, relatable. I'm just like you. I eat bagels.
Ruby Rosa.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
No.
You don't know Ruby Rosa on Mulberry Street? It's so good.
You guys.
And you'll kind of watch her too. I didn't watch all of this, but you kind of watch her get energy. The more sort of validation she gets from the audience, the more kind of alive she is becoming.
Bless Joe's.
Which is like, again, like attachment, but I think 3 specifically because it's like the self-image. I'm important. People recognize me and what I bring to the table. I feel appreciated.
This is the class.
Yeah.
I mean,
go to
we
Joe's Pie.
always, yeah, go to Joe's. Yeah. We go way back, by the way. We've been friends. I want to say the Debbie Downer sketch we did was 20 years old. Is that
Thanks
bizarre?
for aging us.
I know. Does it feel like that? I mean,
It doesn't feel like it.
no, that's one of my favorite things I think I've ever done.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I want to say when we did rehearsal, I mean, again, I cracked up too because it's Rachel Dratch just going.
You were the one who made everyone else laugh.
No.
Yes, you was.
I was trying to say, I think I was talking to Howard Stern, and he said, like, oh, yeah, I just watched Debbie Downer. You laughed the whole way through. I go, no, I think I just,
stuffing your face with
well, I thought I just laughed at the end. And he goes,
I
no.
fucking hate Jimmy Kimmel or whatever his name is, Jimmy Fallon. I hate all of them. They're so annoying.
friends. Yeah, you had friends. Like, what's it like to have friends? But you were not on the
I
table.
feel like his show is just like, remember that time? Remember that time I met you? Remember that time we, like, I feel like every interview I've ever seen with just doing these typings, there's always some like telling us some dumb anecdote with the celebrity that's just so pointless.
And I was really concerned. I go, hey, don't ever leave your phone. You're
Oh
Lindsay
yes,
Lohan.
I remember you told
Oh,
me
there's
that.
a point for her not being SP dom. She left her phone on the table.
I scolded you. I feel like you're dead.
I left it safe with you. You were there.
Yeah, I know, but what
Like,
if I
don't
wasn't
leave your
there?
phone on a
Yeah,
table
but what if I
with me
wasn't
present.
there? Yeah, but because you're
But yeah, it was safe with you. You were there, so maybe she didn't care.
you. What if someone grabbed your phone and...
But yeah, he's doing the six thing, six SP thing. It's like, your phone could have got stolen.
I don't know, hacked it or something. I don't know. You were the best. Thank you for doing that. Tonight is the...
Julianne Moore. Kind of want to type Julianne Moore now. I think Julianne Moore might be a 3 as well. Curious now.
That's
Not
cool!
just because the red hair, there's something in her face.
And then it's a crossover into sports players doing it. It's just such a cool feeling. And that's not an easy handshake to learn.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh, I want to learn that next
There's a
time
lot
you
of
come on.
steps.
Let's do
Okay.
Yeah, and she's like kind of doing a inadvertent flex, like
Freaky Friday sequel, Freakier Friday. Dude, that's real.
That was amazing. Thank you.
yeah, and she means that. She does mean that. As a 3 she really means that. It's like the shame center. It's like the reverse of the shame center, or it's like in the shame center, it's like the reverse of it. It's like you're so validated, it's almost embarrassing. Again, I know these are regular human emotions, but I'm just pointing what I'm seeing.
That with us.
Oh, definitely.
I'm assuming that was a Freaky Friday reference. But yeah, she's kind of like doing the 3-wing too, like our relationship, like we were just so happy together, and like, but then relating it to her job, I don't know. I'm kind of reaching at this point, but I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Lindsay Lohan. SPSO, 3-wing 2, 7-wing 6, 9-wing 1. Should I be 9-wing 1 second? I don't know. I'll just go 379. And so been typing a bunch of those lately on the channel, that try. And yeah, she's a triple superego. I call that purity ring, so her shadow type is the purity ring. So that's probably also like where she probably had some tangled mess of guilt and shame related to her behavior, and then fighting with her core 379 urge to hedonist and scam. And yeah. Okay. Best of luck to you, Lindsay Lohan.